Hello from the New York City Conflicts of Interest Board. My name is Jonathan, and I'm a trainer at the board. This video is intended as a general introduction to Chapter 68 of the City Charter. That's the city's conflicts of interest law, and it covers all New York City public servants. Now, Chapter 68 is just a baseline conflicts of interest code for the city, so you want to check with your agency counsel or your personnel officer because your agency could have stricter rules in place. Now, we created this video to address some basic conflicts of interest situations, and we do hope you find it engaging, but the issues illustrated are serious, and they can carry potentially serious penalties. So please take down our number for free confidential legal advice in case you have any questions or you'd like more information. Our number is 212-442-1400. In this video, we'll examine some of the basics of the law through various hypothetical situations using two hypothetical public servants, Toby Morton and Alan Weinstein. We'll see Toby and Alan in short conflicts of interest scenes, and then I'll check back in with you at the end of each one just to make sure we're on the right track. The scenes will cover the gifts rule, seeking outside employment, political activities, outside financial activities, superior-subordinate financial and political relationships, and post-employment. Now here's our first scene. Now remember, all characters are fictional and in no way are meant to represent any actual city employee.
Hello, sir.
Hello, Weinberg. So today's the day when we talk about conflicts of interest, huh?
That's right, sir.
Good.
It's Weinstein.
What?
It's Weinstein.
Who's Weinstein?
That's me. That's my name.
Oh, that's your name?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's
I'm
okay.
sorry. What are we here to talk about today, Steen? Weinstein.
Weinstein,
Sorry.
right. We're here to talk about conflicts of interest.
All right, let's do that.
The first thing you need to understand is that conflicts of interest can happen on any level of city government.
From the highest to the lowest.
Right. So let's start by defining what is a conflict of interest.
All right.
Sir?
Why don't you take a crack at that, Steen?
Weinstein.
Weinstein.
Right. Okay. Conflicts of interest, for the purposes of this discussion, is a situation that occurs when a New York City public servant takes some action or holds some interest,
Like an outside job or a side business.
like an outside job or a side business, that casts questions on the integrity of his official conduct.
Yeah.
Furthermore, it is important to remember that Chapter 68 of the City Charter not only prohibits the misuse of position,
And impropriety.
but the appearance of misuse.
An appearance of impropriety.
This means that we all, as public servants, need to be very careful about how our conduct is perceived.
By vendors, by co-workers, by the public, by the press.
Exactly.
You're welcome.
And the mere acceptance of a gift from a city vendor or interviewing with the city vendor that you're dealing with in your city job,
No matter what the intention.
exactly,
You're welcome.
is a violation because of the potentially damaging appearance that it creates.
Right.
Shall we move on to the areas for discussion?
Bring it on.
Gifts are an important conflicts of interest issue. The city has a valuable gifts rule which prohibits all of us as public servants from accepting valuable gifts from people doing business or seeking to do business with the city. Now, as we'll see in the upcoming segment with Toby and Alan, gifts can sometimes cross over into the area of bribery and illegal gratuities, so the circumstances of the giving matter. And also remember, your agency can have stricter rules in place on gifts and other conflicts-related topics.
Where are we?
It's a hypothetical restaurant, sir. So we can look at the topic of gifts.
Does hypothetical mean dumpy to you?
No, it's imaginary.
You couldn't imagine a nicer place than this. And what's with these mustaches? Is this how you imagine me?
Sir, do you want to do this? Because I can get Jonathan to do this.
No. Okay, fine. Don't get him. He's boring, okay? I'll leave it to me, all right? Here we go. Okay. Wow, what a nice place. Boy, this sure is an amazing place. And I sure am glad that we get to meet here because I work for the city and you work for a private vendor. And it's nice that we get to speak about things.
And it's been really good to hang out with you too, sir.
well.
And you certainly are good at what you do. We could not have done this without you.
Thank you.
You are the
That's
best.
Nice. That's nice. Thank you.
Check, please.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, no, here. Allow us to pick that up.
No, I couldn't. I wouldn't. I can't, and I won't.
Sir, You are the best that we have seen in your field, and we know how good at your job you are.
Thank you. Thank you. It's going to be more than that.
Sir, it's a hypothetical restaurant.
It's hypothetically New York. It's not hypothetically Topeka, Kansas.
Fine, fine, fine.
But I'd be wrong to take that?
Absolutely. Public servants may not accept valuable gifts from anyone doing business or seeking to do business with the city. Valuable is defined by the Conflicts of Interest Board as something worth $50 or more.
$50.
And this rule is aggregate and cumulative.
What does that mean?
Basically meaning that any series of gifts from any business entity totaling $50 or more
$50.
in any 12-month period
12 months.
violates the board's rule. Oh, allow us to pick this up.
Oh, no, I couldn't.
The company insists.
But it's too much money.
That's true. It is a lot of money. But perhaps there is something you can do for us on this project to help make it up to us, so to speak.
Now, everybody knows that that is called a bribery.
Exactly.
Exactly.
You're welcome. And unlike the board's valuable gifts rule with the $50 cutoff,
$50.
the rule on bribery is zero.
Goose egg.
Exactly.
You're welcome.
Bribery is a Class D felony.
Whoa.
Offers of bribes in any amount are illegal and need to be reported to the Inspector General's office.
Yeah, what's their number?
You can get it off their website.
Okay, fine.
Shall we move on?
Yeah.
Here, we'll be picking that up for all your hard work.
No, I couldn't possibly.
The company insists. Listen, you were a pleasure to work with on this thing. Quick, professional, no funny business. We appreciate that.
Public servants are held to a high standard of integrity, so it should not appear to the taxpayer that the government services they already pay for with their taxes can be affected by tips. And remember, tips and bribes are zero tolerance, so offers must be reported to the Inspector General's office. But if we're talking about accepting something other than a tip or a bribe, we still have to follow Chapter 68's valuable gift rule and our agency's own policy. Now, there are some exceptions to the gifts rule, like one for gifts from longtime friends and one for meals that are served at conferences when we're on city business. And if you're interested in any of these, you should give us a call. Now let's turn to another serious public integrity issue, job seeking while working for the city. Let's go back to that restaurant situation.
Well, you're held to a different standard.
Very good.
Now, about those perks, I just happen to have my resume here, and I... Oh. That's good. That's
Thank you.
really good.
Thank
That's
you.
good. I just happen to have my resume here. And I was hoping, possibly, that you would consider me for future employment.
Well, we'll see what we can do.
I'll bet you will. I'll bet you will. Don't crumple that up. Now I'm guessing there's something wrong with that, Winthorpe?
Weinstein?
Weinstein, sorry.
Absolutely. A question gets raised about your loyalties on this project. Are they to the city, or are they to getting you an outside job? And furthermore, there is an issue of perception. Let's look at it this way. You've got a city vendor. He's trying to secure a $1 million contract with the city. This contract could make or break his small business. If the public servant handling the $1 million contract says, that might sound to the vendor like, which could make him feel like this.
Let's now take a look at a completely different aspect of conflicts of interest, where the problem can be between two city workers, especially when one ranks higher than the other.
Listen, can I take a moment here, just a second? Hold on just a second, okay, everybody? All right. Listen, as your boss, I got to tell you, you are doing one heck of a job.
Really?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Right. And I want to share something with you. I have started to volunteer for causes.
That's really good for you, sir.
It is. It's great. It's great. And I noticed, you're a guy who doesn't seem to have a particularly active evening social life, and I'm volunteering for a political campaign, and it's awesome. And I was just thinking, maybe you want to volunteer too.
What's the campaign?
It's my wife's campaign.
Sir, so that is a really big violation.
Why?
Because it might be mistaken as coercive.
Well, are you mistaking it that way? I mean, I'm just trying to tell you about a good campaign. I mean, you agree it's a good campaign,
Sir,
right?
I don't know anything about your wife's
Yes,
campaign.
you do. You met my wife at the holiday party. You said she looked very nice.
Yes, but I don't know anything about her.
Oh, you're saying you don't like my wife now, is that it?
Sir, I'm saying that people might get the wrong idea.
Yeah, I think a lot of people might get a lot of wrong ideas about what's going on right here, right now.
This is an important restriction, and it's pretty far-reaching. Superiors aren't even allowed to ask a subordinate to do anything in terms of politics. Not voting, not how to spend their time or money, and certainly not how to spend city time or city money. Because when your boss says,
Hey, how'd you like to volunteer for a political campaign?
you may well be hearing,
How'd you like to volunteer for a political campaign if you want to keep your job?
and that casts a question on that boss's integrity and the integrity of the city as a whole. Politics isn't the only issue between superiors and subordinates that can present conflicts of interest issues. Financial relationships between superiors and subordinates can also raise a host of public integrity concerns and Chapter 68 violations.
Sit down, Weinberg.
It's Weinstein.
Don't touch my candy. Listen. You know what it is, a halitosis? Huh?
Sure, it's bad breath.
Right, so obviously you are infinitely aware of the problem.
So what are you saying?
I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything. I mean, there are people who are saying some things about some people in this room who aren't me.
Wait, are people saying that I have bad breath?
Let's not focus on what people are saying, all right? We can't do anything about that. You've got a problem, and let's focus on a solution, because I'll tell you what, I've got one.
Funk breath be gone.
That's right, it's Funk Breath Be Gone, a special mix of plants, herbs, vitamins, and minerals that all work together to scrub away the things in your tummy that make your breath bad.
Interesting.
And it's only $49.95. That's right, $49.95 gets you this bottle, these pills, the cotton in this bottle, this special bonus book of bad breath exercises, and the sense of good measure as a citizen in your office of doing the right thing to keep your agency running smoothly. That's fun. I mean, funk breath be gone. Like that's, ooh, it's
Yes,
funny.
sir. Yes, it's very, very funny.
Yeah.
The point is that superiors and subordinates cannot enter into financial relationships of any kind.
That's right.
No loans, rental agreements, buying or selling, going into business together, you name it.
Now, let me ask you a question here, though, seriously. Like, let's just suppose, that you needed it, like you approached me.
Well, it doesn't matter. A financial relationship between a superior and subordinate certainly compromises a superior's appearance of fairness when dealing with a subordinate, and it may have a negative impact on office morale, among other things.
So you're saying as long as I wasn't doing it from a superior or from a subordinate or to a superior to a subordinate, it would be okay?
But it's really not a good idea to conduct private business on city time or in a city building.
No financial relationships of any kind are allowed between superiors and subordinates. No selling cars, no apartment rentals, and no loans. And the relationship doesn't even have to be monetary. It could be free services offered by the subordinate to the superior. It also doesn't matter where or when it happens, whether it's at work or away from work, whether it's on the clock or off the clock. Any financial relationship between a superior and a subordinate constitutes a charter violation. Conflicts of duty between a city worker's public service job and their prospective outside employment is also a major area of concern for conflicts of interest management. This episode focuses on such concerns.
I want you to give the rep over at Zell Computers a call. We gotta buy new computers for the whole agency, okay?
Sure, no problem. Do you have the number?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Hold on, that's my personal cell phone. Hello?
Hello, is this the sales rep over at Zell?
Yes, who is this?
This is Alan Weinstein.
Who?
Alan Weinstein.
Who?
Alan Weinberg.
Oh, yes, Weinberg, how are you?
Good. My boss wanted me to look into desktops for the office.
Ah, well, your boss sounds like a pretty smart guy.
Right.
How's he doing anyway?
I think he's about to be in a lot of trouble.
Oh. Now that was a clever scheme. Very good.
Yes, a clever example of a clear violation. Full-time public servants are prohibited from having any job with any private business or not-for-profit that does business with any government agency.
Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah, it's that broad.
Yeah, I'll say.
This restriction against having any job with any private entity that does business with the city covers every public servant. Now, this particularly makes sense for high-level public servants with policy discretion that covers several agencies at once. However, there are many more public servants for whom this restriction is too restrictive in certain situations. For that reason, the board is able to grant waivers to allow a particular public servant to hold an otherwise impermissible position. Now, waivers can be granted for any number of things, like an outside job. The waiver process takes 2 steps. First, you must get agency head permission to have the job. Then you must get permission from the Conflicts of Interest Board. And if you're interested in an outside job, you should definitely find out if your agency requires permission for any outside job. Now, this may be surprising, but there are a couple of issues that former public servants have to keep in mind, because even after we leave city service, there's some post-employment restrictions and we have to comply with them. Let's take a look at some of those now.
You know, I'll tell you, I don't know if I want to bother with all this highest standard public integrity stuff. You know?
What are you talking
I'm
about?
talking about leaving. I'm moving to the private sector. No. Listen, I've thought it through, and guess what? Congratulations. You are now the head of the agency, okay? I'm out.
Ring, ring.
Hello?
Hello, Mr. Weinberg.
It's Weinstein.
Right. Your 2 o'clock Zell computer appointment, sir?
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Send him in.
Hey, Weinberg, how you doing?
I'm fine, sir. How are you?
I'm doing great. And I tell you what, I love what you've done with this place, huh? Very nice.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Thank you, sir. Listen, I've got a client coming in on an
Oh,
agency
yeah?
matter, so...
Oh, who is it? Maybe I can help you out.
With all due respect, sir, it is an agency matter, and since you've retired, we can't
Let me
actually-
ask you something. Is it Zell Computer?
Wait, how did you know?
Because that's me now. I'm the Zell guy. It's me. So, here's an official Zell pen. Here's an official Zell coffee mug. Very nice. Here's a Zell goodie bag. What do you say you and I talk about this little thing over lunch, huh?
Sir, that is a really big violation of the law.
Man, you think everything's a really big violation of the law.
Sir, it's called...
Well, I'm sitting now. I suppose that's a big violation of the law,
Sir,
you know?
it's called a
Cuff
revolving...
me.
It's called a revolving door. Former public servants are prohibited from appearing before their former agency for 1 full year after leaving city service.
What do you mean by appear?
It means they can't contact their former agency in person, by telephone, writing, anything for 1 full year after leaving that agency.
So basically, like, I'd have to be invisible for a year. Like, they can't see me for years, what you say.
Exactly.
And they can't hear me either, you know, so I'd have to basically be like an invisible mime, you know, like tapping people if I wanted to, you know, do business here within a year. Is that what
You
you're saying?
cannot contact your former agency in person, by telephone, writing,
Tapping?
tapping
Huh.
for 1 full year, period.
Huh.
And if you worked on a specific matter, like a contract or an audit or a piece of litigation, then you may be subject to the lifetime bar.
Exactly what I've been talking about.
Sir, not that kind of bar.
Oh. What kind?
The bar may prohibit you from working on that matter.
Oh, yeah, for the rest of my life. Is that what you're
For the
saying?
lifetime of the matter.
Oh, of the matter, right, okay. Now let me ask you something, though. What if I was going to leave here
and I was going to go work for, you know, like the feds or the state, like another government position.
Well, in both of those prohibitions.
The lifetime bar and the 1-year ban.
Exactly.
You're welcome.
They wouldn't apply to you if you left your city job for another job with a government agency.
State, federal, or local.
Exactly.
You're welcome.
We hope this video is useful to you in your career as a public servant. Now, naturally, we couldn't fit everything into this video, so we're just going to touch on the last few points. First, to review. Keep in mind that Chapter 68 is the baseline law that covers all New York City public servants. Your agency may have stricter rules. Public servants may not misuse or appear to misuse their city position to obtain a private financial or political benefit for themselves or someone associated with them. Public servants may not accept any valuable gift from anyone doing business or seeking to do business with the city. Valuable means anything worth $50 or more, and the rule is aggregate and cumulative. Public servants may not seek a job with any private entity that they are dealing with in their official capacity. Public servants may not hold any job with any private entity or not-for-profit that does any business with any city agency, unless they obtain agency permission and a waiver from the Conflicts of Interest Board. Public servants may not ask anyone subordinate to them to do anything involving a political campaign, and they can't coerce anyone to contribute to a political campaign. Public servants may not enter into any financial relationships with anyone above or below them in the chain of command. For 1 year after leaving city service, former public servants may not appear before their former city agency on behalf of their new employer. Also, former public servants are prohibited from working on any particular matter they were substantially and personally involved in for the lifetime of that particular matter. And here are a few extra things to keep in mind. If you or your spouse owns a business that deals with the city, you need to disclose that ownership interest to the Conflicts of Interest Board. If you have an allegation of a violation of this law, please make a confidential complaint to your Inspector General's office. And if you are serving on the board of a not-for-profit, you may not have anything to do with that board's involvement with the city, and you may need permission from your agency to even serve on the board. And remember, if you need any further guidance, please give us a call or send us an email. Someone's available to talk to you 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. All calls are confidential, and you can even call anonymously. On behalf of the board, my name is Jonathan. Thanks for watching.